Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. We're back with another track guide for the new Sport Mode time trial that has been released on Gran Turismo 7. Now you can earn 2 million credits if you get within a certain time, and I'm going to try and help you get to that time as easily as possible. I think that this one will be a little bit easier than some of the others in the past because it's quite a common combination. A lot of people love Group 3 round Nurburgring. The Porsche is a pretty solid car to use for this. It might not be the overall fastest, there might actually be better cars, but this car is probably the better option to get you an easy 2 million credits because you've got that 3% of time to play with. It's quite a long track. There's a fair amount of acceleration points in this track where it's just power at the end of the lap, so it should be possible that you can get into that top 3%. Now, if you do enjoy these videos and they help you out, they help you get that 2 million credits, I'll be very, very grateful if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you don't miss any live streams or videos in the future. That would be brilliant. But let's get on with this guide and try and get you these 2 million credits as easily as we can. So we're going to point out the braking points, some of the gearing and stuff like that, and the lines that you're taking through these corners. So make sure on the final corner you want to go a little bit deeper in than you would do on your actual lap because you want to widen the line in to get a better exit for a little bit more acceleration over the start finishing line. So just get that for the start of the lap. Now into turn 1, we are going to be looking for the 100 board on our left hand side. So 100 board is just approaching here. We're going to slow it down. There's the 100 board, and we're going to get on the brakes a little bit before there. You can see I'm a little bit short of the 100 board because that will give me better ability to slow the car down and get it rotated into this right hand corner. Now you can see my left hand tyre is actually on the curb at this point because we're trying to get it rotated in and help with the rotation all the way through the corner. Now down to first gear and try and get your right hand tyre to just clip this curb on the right hand side. You can see it there clipping the curb, and then onto the throttle almost instantly off that curb to get the acceleration out of it. Now what we're doing here is we're going to go up to second gear and we're going to try and swing it to the right before getting it back into this left hand corner. So swinging it to the right, tiny bit of braking input going in here. This is purely just to get the rotation of the car, the weight rotation onto the front tyres to grip it up a bit. So we've got that sorted. We're left hand tyre on the curb, and now we can put that throttle in. Throttle inputs can start going in. Now be cautious, you're not going to go 100% straight away. You can see I'm playing with that throttle a little bit, just being careful that we don't just keep it planted because you can understeer wide very easily. Now as we come to this left hand corner, we're braking way short of the green part on the right hand side there. You can see nice and early on the brakes, and getting the car slowed down, second gear, then down to first gear as we approach this left hand corner. Now what you want to do is get that left hand tyre onto that bit of cobblestone there, and that will rotate the car. As we come through here, you can see it rotates the car onto the throttle nice and early, and then up into second gear just as we're getting on the throttle here. So you can see we're going to go into second gear as we come through here, and we're going to use the curb on the right hand side for the right hand tyre. That's going to give us a better line. Now you are going to run a little bit wide here, but this is the line that we do all the time on Gran Turismo. You're going to use some of the different layout there to widen the line and carry more speed and momentum out of that corner. Now we're going to be braking and looking for the end of the sprint circuit there. You can see that's where the sprint circuit goes to the right. You can use the cone as well, and we're on the brakes there and now rotating it into this left hand corner. So staying in fourth gear, braking through the corner, you're going to see we're going to trail brake into third gear and then let that trail braking go. And once we're on the apex, we can actually get off the brakes and then put a dab of power in before getting back on the brakes. Just, you can see there, that little bit of red curb on the left, the last part of the red is a good reference for your braking. Down to second gear and let the car start rotating on this corner. Once you feel that rotation kicking in, you'll feel it on the car. Onto that throttle super early. Get on that throttle and now power your way down into this hairpin corner, which again is a very, very nice corner. I love this corner actually. I think it's a really nice corner, especially when you hook it up. So using this bit of cobblestone on the left hand side as a reference for braking just past that with these Group 3 cars with racing hard tyres on. And we're going to go down through the gears, down to second gear as we approach the apex, and then just let that trail braking rotate the car. Now we're using first gear to rotate there. A little bit of first gear shift just to rotate the car in the corner, and then back on that throttle quite aggressively. That will swing the car around and carry the momentum now up the hill into this fast flowing chicane. Now for this corner, we're going to use the curb on the right hand side to widen the line into this, and we're not going to get on the brakes. We're just going to give a little lift off the throttle. So as we come off the curb, literally as soon as you come off that curb, you're just lifting off that throttle and then back onto the throttle, and then again little lift before we hit the curb here, and then back onto the throttle to carry the speed off the exit. So left hand tyre should really be on that curb and then try and use as much of the track as possible on the exit here. So you've got the green Astro, and you can really take advantage of that. Just don't go into the gravel. Now, looking in the mirror, we can see that the Ghost is quite far behind there. We're actually on a decent lap here. And now coming into this left-hand corner, we are going to brake just at the start of that. You can see where the tarmac change of colour. We're going to use that as a braking reference, and we're going to brake just past that. So onto the brakes, and that's quite short of the 100 board you can see there. And we're going to downshift to third gear. Now, what you want to do is try and get this car rotating in and getting the left-hand tyre onto the green AstroTurf on the left-hand side here. So as we come through here, you want to get that left-hand tyre to use a bit of green AstroTurf. That will help rotate the car, and that enables you to get on the power a fraction early. So you can see the throttle really down aggressively, and now we're coming into this right-hand corner where you want to go down to second gear. Now we're braking. There isn't really a reference that I use. I do it by line of sight to the apex, and then down to second gear. And I'm a little bit cautious here. You're going to see the Ghost catch me up massively. So onto the throttle. Could have been way more aggressive on the exit there. You can see the Ghost in the mirror. Caught me up quite a lot there. So lost possibly a tenth and a half to 2 tenths there. So there's a lot of time to gain on this lap. I didn't spend too long doing it. So yeah, I'm sure we can go a lot faster if we really want to. Now looking at the 100 board, we're going to use that as a reference for braking. You can see braking inputs going in there just before the 100 board. And this is a chicane that you really need to attack and be aggressive on, because so much time can be found in this one simple chicane. So we're going to trail brake into the first part, and you're going to aim to get your car right over that curb, and you're going to aim for that bollard in the distance. So you can see there, bollard there, over the curb, and then front of the car almost straight over that bollard, and get on that power super early so that you can really push the exit here and then into this final right hand corner, which again, I don't really use a braking reference. I do this more by line of sight and the gearing. You can hear the third gear, the way it revs. Make sure you don't brake too late. Nice and early into this apex on the right side. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to trail brake the car in, and we're going to go down to second gear, and that's going to rotate the car. We're still putting that braking input to rotate it, and then once we feel that rotation there, early onto the throttle and power your way out and over the line. And we actually go over the line for a reasonably okay lap. I think it's 154.9. I do think this time it's going to creep down into the 54 zeros, 54 ones, maybe into the 53s if some of the top drivers really push it. I think I could push that into a 54 3 or 4 myself personally. So I'm sure that a lot of people will be able to go at least 3 or 4 attempts quicker than that. So this should be good enough though. If you can get into the 55s, easily gold, I think. I don't think you're going to be worrying about the gold time if you can get into the 55s. Anything in the 55s should be easily gold. We're not going to get another physics change on this one that might make it a little bit different. Physics will be staying the same. So watching the lap from the chase camera again, you can see how we use that cobblestone to rotate the car and use the curbs, little lifts off throttle, using the full track width. It's one thing with this track, you really do need to take advantage of the track limits. Now, some people will say, yeah, it's abusing limits, but at the end of the day, these are the limits that PD give you. So take advantage of them, get them 2 million credits, and then you can go and buy yourself some nice cars in game. Now you're going to see as we come into this hairpin what I'm talking about with regards to the rotation, using that first gear to rotate it, going a little bit deeper than what I probably would have liked. You can see I go a little bit deep, but that first gear shift and then on the power almost got that perfect there and got really good exit speed. So I think I actually benefited from making a little bit of an error going too deep, and using these curbs, using the Astro there, you can see making sure you don't go onto the gravel because you can pick up a penalty on that corner, so be very wise to that. And then this corner again, left hand tyre onto that Astro, rotates the car, enables you to get on that throttle just a little bit early. You can see a little bit of a mistake here, maybe a bit too cautious, a bit too early on the brakes, could have been more aggressive there. I think there's 2 attempts just in that one corner alone, and then the acceleration would have gained us a little bit more all the way up to the next chicane. So definitely a 54.5 available for me on this lap as we go into this really aggressive going. You can see, just watch the curbs, really attacking that and on the throttle early, because you can then carry a lot of speed out of that corner if you're really aggressive. Final corner, you can see once you saw that rotation kick in onto the throttle, again be careful you don't go flat throttle. You want to be a bit cautious as you put the initial input on the throttle down. Don't go 100% until you feel the car's gripping up, and then 100% over the line. And yeah, hopefully this will help you out. Remember, if you do enjoy this, let me know in the comments how it's helped you out. Subscribe to the channel and I'll be back with more of these every time there is a new sport mode time trial. Bye everyone.